You want to know the real reason why the US is obsessed with the idea of a Latino immigrant invasion? It's because every accusation is a confession. I need you to say it with me. Every accusation is a confession. This video is part 5 of my series, Why the US Treats Latinos Like the Enemy. And the topic that we're dealing with today is one of the myths of the Latino threat narrative, which is the invasion, or that Latinos are invaders. So as I've been doing with the other myths, let's look at where the myth comes from, why it persists, and what you can do about it. So let's rewind to 1848 when the US took, aka purchased, half of Mexico. Ever since then, the US has had a bad case of paranoia toward the people who live in the US Southwest. It's almost like they know what they did and they're scared that one day it's gonna catch up with their ass. Even in 1848, people didn't just take it. Between the 1850s and the 1890s, people in the annexed territories fought back. Some tried to use the legal system to kick settlers off their land, and spoiler alert, even if they won, they had to pay high fees, sometimes in the form of their property, to those lawyers. So guess what? They lost their property anyway. Now, others fought back with bullets, and we're talking about people like Joaquin Murrieta, Gregorio Cortez. They were so legendary that corridos were written about them and continue to be sung by popular Mexican bands to this day. And even in the 1960s, activist Reyes Lopez Tijerina staged an armed raid in the New Mexico courthouse with the intent of reinstating Mexican and Spanish land grants for people whose property was lost back during the 1840s. So this fear of invasion doesn't come from nowhere. But the way that media and politicians talk about it blow it completely out of proportion. So why does this myth persist? Well, in his book Brown Tide Rising, Otto Santana explains. News headlines spread panic and talk about immigrants from Latin America like if they're locusts swarming towards our country. They use terminology like they're swarming in, they're pouring in, they're flooding. They use words that make people think that we're like insects or diseases or natural disasters. You see the trick, right? If they talk about us like we're not human, then they can get away with mistreating us and creating other types of dehumanizing and cruel behavior towards us. If you're not human, they don't have to treat you like you're human. So what do we do about it? Well, for starters, cut it out with the dehumanizing language. Starting today, stop calling people illegal. Use undocumented or unauthorized. Those are perfectly fine. Literally say anything that doesn't sound like a slur. And also start clocking those dog whistle politics. When news anchors start talking about waves of immigrants or surges in the tide at the border,